all this going on, it's good to actually get some good news in this rough and tumble world that we're living in. The NBA is back, boys. We've heard the stuff going on. We've heard the negotiations going on, and they've kind of been half in, half out about will they restart the league? Where will they put it? We got the news. Woj bomb yesterday afternoon. 22 teams returning, the top 8 in each conference, and then all eligible playoff teams that are within, I believe, 8 games of, I don't know how they're figuring that out. I believe it's if they're within 8 games, right, of the 8th seed. So that means that the teams returning will obviously be the top 8. I don't need to go over those ones, but joining the current 16 playoff teams in Orlando are New Orleans, Portland, the Suns, Sacramento, San Antonio, and also Washington in the East. We talked about how the playoff picture is set in the East. I guess Washington's going to come along, bro. I guess that's how that's going to work because they're technically still eligible. And Bradley Beal's just he's eyeing it, thinking he's got a chance. But it's going to start July 31st. If the NBA Finals were to go all 7 games, it could wrap up potentially as late as October 12th. There'll be 8 regular season games to determine the playoff rankings and kind of finalize everything. If they're close enough, if the 8th and the 9th seed are close enough, they will have a play-in series where best of 3 in order to get that play-in to become the 8th seed if they're within, I believe, 3 games. So that may be factored in. I'm not sure if I have all the details correct here, but it's kind of confusing. But regardless, Angel, how excited for you? I know that you're a Suns fan. You're going to get to see them play. They could potentially end that playoff drought. Whenever you got the news, what was your first reaction to seeing that? Seeing that the NBA is back.
I mean, it's awesome, but then at the same time, it's like, man, it's not the same because it's not going to be like normal, no crowd, which is fine. I mean, we've seen the UFC with no crowd. It's worked pretty well. It's different for sure. There's definitely a different atmosphere, but man, I don't know. This is something else right now, man. I'm actually 5 minutes ago. I have Twitter pulled up. Woj just dropped on below. The NBA has set August 25 draft lottery and October 15 draft day. Sources say. So that's a lot later than what it usually is. That's kind of wild. Oh, yeah. So just put that out here. That just got tweeted out 5 minutes ago by Woj. Woj bomb live.
Woj bomb. Live. Something I saw people talking about is and we've talked about all the factors of what teams will come in. We talked about it last week of teams coming in shape, different teams that could go off because there's no crowd. Something I didn't even think about is the implications of there being no crowd. Home field advantage is no longer a thing, right? Home court advantage is no longer a thing. Everybody's free throw ratings are going to go through the roof because there's no crowd to distract them anymore. It's wild to me. I didn't think about a lot of this stuff until I started reading about it, but if we were to go ahead and guess here, 8 games left. Are you happy with that? Because I know you and me were talking about cutting down on the amount of teams, and it seemed like a foregone conclusion to us that they were just going to go ahead and start in the playoffs. That's not what's going to be happening. Do you think their 8 regular season games are being used more as a means of just kind of getting the players ready and able to kind of compete and get ready for the playoffs? Or you think it's actually just because they actually want to go ahead and help determine the playoff bracket as a whole rather than just force it in?
It's probably more of a money thing than anything. I feel it has to be a money thing. There's no way it isn't. I don't know. I don't know if they really even care about that. They just want to get this stuff done in a way. I mean, they care, but they don't care. I feel like they're on a weird line with it. It's kind of like, well, we have to get through this to meet these, things, and we'll get things going and to make this amount of money, but also to make it work so people are happy and people don't complain. I think it's a number of little factors like that.
Yeah, that's fair. I don't know, man. I'm hyped. And if you're a fan of those teams that are not going to make the playoffs, totally not going to make the playoffs, I can only imagine that you're still pretty happy. I mean, as a Thunder fan, I had no idea that we were going to ever, I didn't think we were going to make the finals or anything. But I feel like because everything's so weird now with no crowd and everything's going to be a lot different, teams are going to be coming in more in shape and that type of thing. Some teams are going to be less in shape. I could easily see players are going to be weird this year, bro. Either I don't know if they're going to be as good. They're probably not going to be as good this year because crowd is such a huge thing. But I feel like we're going to see a lot of teams in a lot of different positions, and hopefully the Phoenix Suns make it. It's just Angel, I'm pulling for you, bro. If you guys, I mean, straight up, I think you guys are gonna get fucked up by LeBron in the first round, but at least you guys, if you guys have the chance to make it. But